if I took the topper off and replaced it with the real bird.
All right, looking good.
Yay. Welcome, welcome. Good evening, everyone. What? Hi. Hello. Gonna let me snuggle you today?
She gonna bite you. She better not bite your ear. She'll probably you should put her out there.
All right, we're good. It looks good.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see if anybody's here and get some comments.
Welcome, welcome. Okay. Dun.
All right, I see we're connected.
Yay! Now we got it. Hello.
There's our Phoenix.
Hi, Laura. Happy Thursday.
And there's our Jamie Pangborn.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, Corbin. Oh, yeah.
Phoenix says she's so glad she can comment.
Yeah, I know. She couldn't comment on the Pokemon one.
Tanya Stockley Warren has just joined
Hey,
us.
Tanya. Welcome back.
Hi, nice to see you all. Monica Casey is here.
Hey, Monica.
So we're up and running and we've got everything looking good. All the connections are good.
Good job.
It's a special night. The night for Mr. Aayden.
Literally up and running.
Laureen Yee is here.
Hi, Laureen. Welcome back. Hi, Holly. Yeah.
Kayla Adjan Heminger.
Hey, Kayla.
From Illinois.
How are you? Welcome, welcome.
Jamie says Facebook looks a little choppy, but she said I might have to try YouTube.
You could do that too.
We've been having a lot of Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's Wi-Fi issues or Facebook issues. I think it's partly Wi-Fi because even my phone's been acting weird lately. I'm not sure what that's all about, but
Phoenix says she's only sketching tonight.
that's okay.
My paints are at my other uncle's place, so only
Oh.
sketching.
No problem. No problem. Hi. What are you doing?
Diane Layton is here from
Hi,
Graham,
Diane.
Washington.
Welcome back. It's nice to have you.
Emily Nagel says, hey guys, hi Aayden.
How
Hi.
are you? Emily's been with us before, right? Yes.
Yeah, Holly.
Yeah, Patricia Troyer says, hi y'all, is that the clock?
Hi.
Yes.
that's the
Good
clock.
for you, it looks very nice.
Thank you. I will get more into that once everybody's on. I'll talk more about it.
Alright, so now that I know that all the connections are ready and we're just about ready to go, I'm going to start with our special intro that we made for Aayden. And then once that is over, then I'm going to give it over to you two. Oh, I
Alright.
forgot to mention Holly's right there on your shoulder.
For now.
We have two best birds.
Whoa, man, you know, I need to
It's okay.
close up on that one.
Who's
What?
the girl?
So I
Holly.
can see both of y'all and Holly. Yeah.
Oh, look, she
cute.
doesn't want to be. She doesn't want to be in the camera. She's turning
She's
around.
like, nope, you can't record me. No, no.
All right, here we go, everybody. Here's our special intro.
I have the song playing in my head already. Dun, 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 dun.
What then?
It shows all the clocks in my room. I bet you somebody can come and say, geez, that's a lot of clocks.
They're gonna say, "How do you sleep?"
Probably. I turn the wall off at night. No, I don't.
Hey, look at that.
It's fast, but it keeps good time. I don't know. Oh, look at them. Wow. Showing everybody her feathers.
They're getting a good look at his room, all of the clocks in his room.
Somebody's probably going to say, Carmen, how do you sleep? You gotta get me in the cuckoo. And the cuckoo clock, actually, I named it too, so I'll tell them what that is.
Okay.
We're moving all around this room right now, showing all of the clocks.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, wait, did we get to the wall of cuckoos yet? That's what I call it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Whoa, that was fast. Cuckoo. Why? Wow.
Spinning around the room.
Yeah. Oh, there's a cuckoo in the corner. I think that was Miss Stahl's cuckoo. I don't know.
Alright.
Okay.
I guess we're about to begin. That was a nice little intro. Showed Aayden's Clock Museum, which is his room.
Yes, I actually did some rearrangements in there. I have specific walls. The wall cuckoos, regulators, 31-day, Westminster, battery, power clocks.
Well, alright.
Sometimes
We'll let people ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. And
You can feel free if you... And I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't think the comments are on, so if you wanted to maybe, if you wanted to request a video that you would like to see, like an in-depth of a clock or something, you can tell me that. Or a winding clock. And yes, I will show you how to wind this one, too.
Alright.
so tell us what kind of clock that is.
So this is actually an Aayden clock made in Germany, handcrafted. I still have the sticker on it. It made in Germany, Aayden Clocks Germany since 1952. It is a Aayden clock with plain roses and moving birds, because these two birds actually on the side move, and they're feeding the baby birds in the nest. And yes, it does work. You will hear a cuckoo, and the half hour and the hour it does it. And I did name it. I named the bird inside the clock Kevin. And I should probably, today we could just take this bird and put it in there. Because we have a real bird.
I don't know if she'd fit in there.
No, I don't think so. Because that's a little tiny hole. And it is like I don't know. I'm not keeping track bed. We bought it in December last year, so it's about a year and
It's about
1/3 of a year.
There you go.
But I would definitely recommend, if you were looking for a cuckoo clock, you probably would go to I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it's in Paddler's Village. It's called something Black Forest Clocks and German Gifts. But I think it was...
Is it the gift house?
No.
No.
It was French back or something. I can't pronounce it. It started with an F. That's all I know. They have many selections of cuckoo clocks. They have Aayden clocks, Anton Schneider, Holmes, Ramba.
Sounds like a vacuum.
Ramba, yeah.
Ow.
But this one I think we got on sale. This one was on sale when we got it, because the original, I think the price right now is like $3.50 and we paid like $3.10 for it. My mom had to help me a little bit. Yeah. But anyways, I like it, and this is how big the clock is compared to my hand. It's a big clock, but
So how does it work? Does it just keep going?
so if you want to not hear it, there is a switch on the side of the. What side is this? The left or right? I can't tell. I'm blind.
No,
That's the right side.
The right
not.
side.
That's the left side.
Left side. There's a switch. You can push that up. The one day I think my mind was a little cuckoo because I was pushing it. I'm like, why is it not cuckooing, doing nothing? So I take it off my wall. I had the back door, and I put the back door upside down. So I'm like, oh, up means on. And I'm like, wait, let me try the other way. And then I pasted it down, and now it said down means off. So there is a sticker at the back that tells you up is off and down is off. On.
Yeah,
Rather.
Mom wishes she found that switch a lot sooner.
Huh?
I wish I found that switch a lot sooner.
There's always that. And it will run for 1 day. So like any cuckoo clock has to be 7 feet up high, and the most important thing is you have to hit a stud with about a 2-inch screw, and if you do not have a screw long enough or a stud in the wall, there is, I think they're called wallboard anchors that hold, they say they hold 50 pounds, but they hold more than that. You could probably do this for the 1-day clocks, but the 8-day ones are a different thing.
Are the 8-day clocks heavier?
Oh yeah, the pine cones are like this, rather than, this is how you can tell if it's a 1-day. These pine cones are small, and it says on it 275 ET, which I do not know what that means. That's the weight of that one. And I know the other ones are like, the 8-day clocks are 1,500 gram weight or something. Okay, maybe that. Yeah, it's heavy.
Corbin has a question.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Corbin says, what year did you start collecting clocks?
Oh God, when I was like 9, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say, well, close to it. Maybe 3 years ago.
So this is a fun fact. There's actually, this was my second clock that started my entire collection. So this actually has a lot of, like, all my Cuckoo clocks have sentimental value in them, just because I actually inherited a clock from my great-great-grandparents and my mom's great-great-grandparents.
Grandparents, yeah, that's right.
So I have it upstairs. I had to pay $600 to get it fixed, because at the time I didn't know anything about clocks too much. But I got it. I have a clock upstairs that I was originally going to show you, but the little thing doesn't want to run, so I got to figure that out. We'll probably take it apart.
And I think Miss Danielle's probably watching.
I have to figure out her clock. Her clock is a different story. I had to buy lots of parts for that one.
Oh. All right, I got another question.
Okay.
Kristen Clark says, do you keep them all on the same time or different times?
Are you kidding me? That is like, I have so many people. Do you set them all to the same thing? Well, I think that's what our house kind of feels like. Because there one day this happened. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. And then all the cuckoo clocks just started going cuckoo. And then all the other ones started. I'm like,
so they're close in time, but
they're about like,
all the same.
they're probably a minute or two off.
Hi, Kristen.
And if I do set them accurate, usually they will, some of them, my regulator clocks are all set to the exact time. And yes, this one will keep the exact time all day, all night, whatever, because it is regulated. And I actually have a mark on the back of the pendulum that tells me don't move it, and if I move it, I know where to put it back in that spot.
Okay, Angela Escobar says, please share his YouTube. She says, I have a cuckoo clock that's been handed down, and I'd love to learn more about it.
Aww.
Does it work?
I don't know.
Yes, it says it does work.
We will share in. So in
they need to find his YouTube so they can find it.
In the event for today, if you scroll through the discussion, there is a link to his YouTube. We are he would have to get to 100 subscribers in order for us to customize his YouTube channel name, which we would like to customize.
But I can actually see the people that are subscribed to my channel.
So in that discussion, in the event is the YouTube channel. There's 2 videos that we posted in there that Aayden's got up there, and we are going to work on some more, right?
Alright.
Okay.
So, about the clock thing, do you know how old it is? Probably not, because some of them are hard to tell. I would probably be able to tell just by looking at the clock how old it is.
Think so?
I would probably give it a guess, but this one I know is like new. You can still buy it new.
Well, Emily Nagel says, Aayden, what fascinates you about clocks?
Yeah.
I think just the way that they work, and like some of them, the sound I like my grandpa's grandfather clock, my grandparents' grandfather clock. They had a grandfather clock. I always liked the chimes on it. And my grandfather clock, I actually have a big grandfather clock upstairs that I'm gonna probably record a YouTube video tomorrow or maybe someday, I don't know.
Okay.
Before I get it serviced. and after I get it serviced, because the escapement gear is like done, I think. These are like small teensy little things sticking up.
Well, how about if I hand you my phone and you can go up and record what you would like to? We'll give everybody one more minute or so to ask another question, and then we're gonna use your.
I was gonna wait until this went off.
Well, that's another like 10 minutes. We'll be going over supplies and everything when it goes off, but we're gonna use your cuckoo clock as inspiration for our painting.
Yeah, you could do that. It doesn't have to. You don't. I don't know. I don't think you can probably get it exactly. You don't have to be perfect. And the other thing is, the most important thing is, I see a lot of people always want. Can I put that down there? Always when they want to wind the clock, they say you hold this weight and wind it. But you shouldn't do that, really.
Really?
Because I actually did try to do that because I saw that on YouTube. And what happened was I got the chain up in there, and then I almost got the chain off the sprocket or stuck. Because as soon as it did that, it stopped the clock, and then it spinned around. So, and also if you're pulling down on the weight to force it to work, you can stretch the chain. I had somebody give me a cuckoo clock, and the chains were stretched out, so I had to replace the chains.
So you're really not supposed to pull the weights because the weights are what drop down. You have to pull the other side of the chain.
This is the side you should pull.
Like I got
this.
I see.
And you only pull it straight down. Don't pull it out. Pull it straight down. And you don't just go all the way up. You always have to go a little bit and then stop, a little bit and then stop again.
So why is there two?
So this one actually that I just wound keeps the cuckoo going. That's for the cuckoo.
Gotcha.
And a lot of people, I know a lot of people like to pull on this weight, especially to get that bird to come out and cuckoo. But when you wind the time weight, as you see the minute hand, watch the minute hand.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yep.
So it moves a little. So you have to slightly push it ahead just a little.
I don't think you should touch that.
Yeah, just a little bit when you wind it because it will lose time.
Don't touch.
And when you set the time, people say you can go backwards, but really with any clock, it doesn't matter. Rack and sail, anything like that. They say that. Never go backwards with any of the hands. And don't move the hour hand unless your clock is just a clock that keeps time or doesn't have a counting mechanism that actually counts how many times it bings. Like I have some of those clocks that I have one that just is the passing strike, but I still move the minute hand to set it.
Alright, dude.
And you'll hear it cuckoo in about 5 minutes, maybe 5 to 6 minutes. It'll cuckoo, and you'll see this weight moves a little faster. But on an 8-day clock, it'll move slow because it'll go for 8 days. And it should be 7 feet high for them to fully drop. This clock is actually not high enough because my O-rings are almost my
on the floor, right?
ring. I think it's called the key ring that stops it from coming off the chain.
It's not on the floor. Oh, it's not on the floor.
Almost on the
So
floor.
close, so it's perfect. It's almost
No, because once the weight goes down, what happens is it will go crooked.
Right.
This happened at the old house. We had it hanging in the living room for how long and I never ran it. And this clock I actually had stopped for, it was in like 2 months in a box, and then I put it up on my wall. And this actually, I just took the clock off my room wall upstairs, and I haven't had it. I haven't ran that clock in like a week, and I just pushed it and it started right up. Right time.
Katie Krause said, why 8 days and not 7?
Oh yes, you're right about that.
question.
You're right about that. She said the right thing. It is 8 days, but the clock will stop on the 8th day, so you should wind it every 7 days. So what you do is, with those weights,
Katie.
the 8-day cuckoos, yes, you can support just put your hand under the weight. Don't push the weight up. Just put your hand under the weight and pull the chain that doesn't have the weight on it to get it to go up. But on a grandfather clock, don't touch anything with the brass weights with your hands because that will tarnish it, or the pendulum, the same thing.
Well,
And you can, that one you just pull it straight down.
You know we got moms on here because our Kathy Reinhardt says, yeah, I see the non-matching socks.
always. I don't
Who
think
is that,
ever
Mom?
No, Kathy Reinhardt, who Mom talks all the time. All right, I'm gonna go over our supplies and start sketching.
All right.
If you want to wait for a little while and hang
I'm gonna
out,
stay down here
in
with
case people have some questions, then we can do more.
People will probably
And
have
you can,
questions.
if you want to take Miss Holly off of my shoulder with her perch,
I'll take. Woo!
and not fall over.
I don't want to knock that clock off the wall. I could replace the bird inside the clock
Yeah.
with this one.
All right, girly.
I have to come
Good
with Daddy
girl.
for a minute.
Alrighty. Whoa.
Bye, Holly.
Good girl. There she goes. Oh, coming back, Mom. Uh-oh.
She's going back to her case. She's
Yep.
good.
Good job. All right, let's go over our supplies.
Holly said she could do it on her own.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for Aayden's clock demo and our little painting of his cuckoo clock, which I promised him. So if you don't know us, welcome. I'm Jennifer. Mark's behind the camera, behind the computer. Rascal's at my feet. Now I gotta add Holly was on my shoulder. Aayden's in the house. Let's go over our supplies. So I have a 10 by 20 canvas held vertically. I have mostly primary colors.
I'll take
So a teensy weensy little bit of red, which it's just really for details if you want to add some details in there. Probably use mostly white, a little bit of brown, blue, black, yellow. We're going to do some mixing, but before we start, I am going to sketch a little bit. The main thing I want to do is sketch out the shape of the house, kind of looking at it on an angle instead of straight on. And then we'll go ahead and paint in all the other little details when we get to it, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to start with kind of our frame of the house. So I did start to sketch it in pencil. I don't know if you can see that on there or not.
No, can't see it.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So I am going to start about an inch or so down from the top of my canvas. We're going to do a horizontal line, maybe about 2-3 inches wide here. I'll try to stay straight, guys. And we are going to take those angles down. So we want to keep the angles the same if we can. 2 and 2. And then we're going to horizontal this to match. So we're making a trapezoid here. Or a, not trapezoid. Yeah, a rhombus. Is that the correct geometrical term for that?
Good question.
And then I'm gonna kind of finish this A, the top of the A for the frame here, the A frame of our house. Bring that down to the same level here. And we're gonna add some little details in there. So remember, it does not have to be perfect. My painting is not gonna look like my painting, and your painting is not gonna look like my painting. We want it to be yours. So you can decorate your birdhouse however you'd like to. If you want to throw a cardinal in there instead of those carved birds that are on there, more power to you. All right, so underneath that little A frame, I'm gonna kind of move in a little bit and do a vertical. We're gonna do a straight vertical, about maybe 3 to 4 inches high. And there's your single cuckoo. And then we're gonna come over and do this side again. I do wanna move it kind of on the inside a little bit. And a vertical, we're gonna keep it the same way. We will close this off with a horizontal. Which is kind of on an angle here, I see. You guys know what happens when I draw from the side, right? And then I will just kind of come and bring this vertical down from this side of my roof. And this really should be on a slight angle up, but that perspective is not accurate. I'll say that. And we're gonna just kind of keep that in there. We're gonna paint extra details in there, but I just want to get that base in there for now. and we will begin our background. So background, I didn't even go over our brushes, gosh. See, I'm all flustered. 1 inch flat brush, a medium round, the number 8, and then your tinier number 4 or smaller brush for those little details, which we'll need tonight. So I am gonna start with the big guy. We're gonna rinse and dry really well. And we're gonna start with just kind of flooding that background with some white. So just grabbing, being generous with my white, and brushing in the background. And at this point, it's okay if your brush is a little damp with the white, because we do wanna kind of wet the background to blend in those other colors for us. And you can change up those colors. So I use kind of like a teal color or turquoisey color. That's like my go-to. But you can change up whatever colors you want for your wall. And I have a little bit of brown in there. So right now, again, I just have that large flat brush, being generous with my white in the background.
We've got Abby joining us.
Hi, Abby.
You know she's from Iron River, Michigan.
Yeah. How you doing, Abby? Are you painting the clock tonight too?
Elise Martin said, I'm 36 and I mostly wear non-matching socks.
Listen, I gave up on worrying about it. I'm over it. I tried to worry about it and it's not worth it. Nobody cares. So what I'm gonna do is mix a little bit of that like teal blue color or that green color. So I'm not even gonna rinse and dry my brush. We're just gonna be kind of messy here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of that blue and a little bit of that, well, really little bit of the yellow, and mix till I have that kind of slightly green or teal color that I was looking for.
Jody Darian Golden.
Hey Jody, how are you?
It's been a while.
Yeah. So I have that, a little bit of that teal color there. Now I really don't want to like flood my background with this because it's gonna, a little bit of this is gonna go a long way. But I will start lightly, just a little bit, just kind of underneath my clock, because this is gonna be the darker area. So
now, those of you that got on earlier, I waited a few minutes and then I played the intro for Aayden's day, and basically it was a showcasing his clock museum, which is his room.
yep.
And the sounds that you heard were the actual music of all of the clocks that are in his room.
Oh my goodness. It's noisy here. Don't give me a call at noon anytime. So I do still have a lot of paint on that brush, so I am just kind of being careful about, light pressure, a little bit at a time. I'm gonna come on the right side of my clock as well and just sort of brush some of that in there real lightly though, okay? I don't want, if you press with all the pressure, you're gonna pull all that paint off your brush. So light pressure. And then I'm gonna, from the edge, so top edge and side edges, bottom edge, I'm just gonna pull some of that in there real lightly. Just pull some of that down into our white. So real light pressure. And Rascal is snoring.
You can hear him?
Oh my goodness. He was snoring at my feet earlier today too.
He's exhausted.
He should be. He ate a lot of food today. I don't know what's up with him lately. He ate a lot today, and of course then he had to go out like 8 billion times. So, I don't know, every 15 minutes I was getting up to let him out. Alright, so
Rascal is knocked out cold, everybody.
Good.
I got him on the screen now. He's knocked out cold. Let me start talking about him before he wakes up.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
It's not usual that he gets that tired that soon.
I'm gonna rinse and dry once I have some of that blue in that background, and then I'm gonna grab some of my brown and do the same thing. So you can mix your browns if you want to. This is just what color is this? This is burnt sienna is what this one is. So I'm just gonna grab a tiny bit of that on my brush And I'm gonna keep that brush a little bit damp. So I did rinse and dry, but I left it just a smidge damp. It'll help move the paint on the canvas. So similar situation, I'm gonna start a little under my clock and on the right of the clock, since that's where it's gonna be darkest, and just pull some of that brown down.
Diane said he's smiling.
Rascal.
Yeah.
He is knocked out though. I don't know. He was up and down all day though, so he should be tired.
Yeah, he should be. Yes, Abby, Aayden is here.
Yeah, he just ran
we started
upstairs.
To show off with him. And if you rewind, you can see the beginning of his clock
Showing
museum.
his little clocks. Oh yeah, that too. So I'm just grabbing a tiny bit of paint at a time on that brush to help me with the background. Now, if you ever feel like you grab too much and you want to like lighten it up, just grab a little bit of white on there. So just grab a little white and you can blend over and then, you know, flick paint everywhere like me.
Well, guess who I think is feeling much better now after not
Who?
feeling so good the other day? Our Elena.
Oh, yay.
Elena's feeling better.
Yay. Hi, Elena.
Not on the bed taking a nap, so
Aww.
our Kathy says, yeah, hi, bye, Elena.
Hi.
Got a bunch of kissies and kissy faces. And
Thank you, Elena. Hugs
Yeah.
and kisses back to you guys. Aww.
she obviously is feeling a lot better.
Good, that's good
What
to
are
hear.
you painting?
We are painting the Cuckoo clock, one of Aayden's Cuckoo clocks. So again, just kind of pulling some of that paint in the background. And if you need to wet your brush just a little bit, that will help that paint flow on your canvas a little. And I'm just gonna rinse and dry once I have that background in. And it's meant to be a little streaky and, you know, imperfect. Let's see. Oh, my rascal. So, how's everybody's week going? So glad. This weather, first of all, I need to say, my goodness. We had 60-degree weather yesterday, and today I looked outside and the pool cover was covered in snow. Like, what goes on?
Yeah.
And we're supposed to get more cold weather tomorrow. And gee, Kathy Reinhardt, they had over an inch of sleet or hail the other day. Mother Nature is mad. Something going on there.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you guys a minute there on that background. Snorer. So does anybody remember in their family having cuckoo clocks on their walls? Because when Aayden first started kind of talking about clocks and thinking about clocks, I immediately remembered the cuckoo clock that was at my great-grandparents' house that I used to be able to wind when I stayed there on the weekends. And I was even younger than him, not playing with it, but winding the cuckoo clock. It was like a big deal for me. That was given then to my grandparents when they both passed. And then my grandparents had, I don't even know if they put it up in their house, to be honest, but then it was given to my aunt after both my grandparents passed, and she gave it to Aayden just because she knew he would enjoy it and appreciate it, and it's a family heirloom, and it is sentimental. He's definitely gotten the sentimental thing. He's very careful when somebody does give him a clock that is sentimental. He's careful to maybe not touch it, or if he thinks that he can't do something, he will not tackle it. He's like, nope, not doing it. But his teacher gave him another clock today to try and repair, and he did come home and started tinkering with it and got it going already. Amazing.
Okay, so we got a question
Shoot.
from Susie Malamut Vicente.
Hey, Susie, how are you?
Says, so to get in one of these virtual painting nights, what supplies do I need to stock up on?
So normally all I use are primary acrylics. So your red, yellow, blue, and I mean, Like, there's no secret. I like Michael's Artist Loft. They're flow acrylics. Not the pouring, but they're just called flow. So it's light bodied. It moves. It's not real heavy and thick. You can see the difference actually using this. So this is like a student grade probably, or a higher grade acrylic, because it's real thick, has a lot more pigment in it. And then these are the flow acrylics, which will run after a while. But I like these because they flow on my canvas a little bit better. So that's pretty much all I use. Really, I try to mix everything else. Brown is a tricky one to mix, so I use my primaries and do everything else. I do sell on our website the brush set. So we have Mimosa's branded brushes. It is the 4 that I use all the time. It's a 1-inch flat, a 1/2-inch flat, a number 8, and a number 4 round. A couple water to rinse, paper towels to dry, and then a couple of canvases. You can always change up the size canvases, but my standards are 10 by 20s and 16 by 20s. Occasionally we'll do little guys for like either 11 by 14s for kids, or if I'm doing very large events that we have coming up, we'll do 11 by 14s. But you're always welcome to join us. On our Facebook page, there is the upcoming events list is probably best on Facebook. When you click on there, in the discussion and in the about section, it'll tell you to go to the website and just sign up. And all you'll do is put in self-care as a promo code, all in caps, and we'll email you that supply list too for each one that we do.
Julie Darian Golden says, my cat is here. Must hear your birds.
That's funny. Well, we put Holly back in her cage over there.
Yeah, we started to show off Holly on Jennifer's shoulder.
She's been very, she still does not allow me to give her my hand to come on to me, but I can now at least pet her. But she's just not a very, hands-on bird. I know it takes a lot of time.
Diane said, when I stayed at my dad's, I used to have to ask him to turn the clocks off at night because they kept waking me up.
Yeah.
And we have another announcement.
Okay.
That announcement is, I love you both by Elena.
I love you too, Elena. I will say, like, at first, the craziness of the ticking and the bangs and the gonging and the, oh my gosh, it is a lot. I guess over time, like, Mark just tunes it all out. He never bothers him. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
For me, some days I'm like, oh my gosh. I just closed his bedroom door. We have a couple of, you can still hear it, but not as badly. But when he's gone for a weekend, then I may go around and use those silent switches on a lot.
I know every time I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, it's at the top of the hour or it's at the bottom of the hour. But it's always the one of them. Because before I get finished, I always hear bing, 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 boom, ding, boom, cuckoo, cuckoo, boom, 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 boom. They all come on at the same time.
Most of the time.
Get used to it.
You do. Everybody has willingly given Aayden's room up if they come and visit. No, we don't have to stay in there. It's okay. Everybody closes the door. Nobody wants to stay in there. We have lots of couches. All right. What do we say we get to our cuckoo box? Let's see. All right. Let's go with. I'm gonna go with the that 1/2-inch flat. So we're gonna rinse and dry. Let's mix a little bit of brown. So I do have this burnt sienna, and instead of using it straight, I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. So I'm gonna take a little scoop of it, and we're gonna add a little bit of black. Now, to make something darker, you don't always have to add black. You can also add blue. So I'll touch a little bit of blue in there. You can even go with a little bit of red. It's just to make it a little darker.
Abby said, still painting, doing the green background.
Okay. I'm going to start with using this color on this side of the clock. This is going to be the darker area of our clock. So we're going to just use that 1/2-inch flat Use the corner of your brush to get in that little corner, and then use that flat side to line right up against the edge of your roof and pull down. Use that straight edge of your brush and just pull down. I'm just filling it in. I'm using vertical brush strokes. You can do either vertical or horizontal, it's up to you. I would say just keep the brush strokes the same so that you're not doing this and this at the same time. You want to keep like wood grain look going in there. Yeah, right over there, rascal. I hear you. Oh, that's you. I know, and Mark is not feeling good either.
It's okay.
You're right.
I'm okay now.
Okay. All right. So we have that side. And then I do want to lighten that up a little bit. So I can either mix another color or I can lighten this. So up to you. I'm just gonna change this color over a little bit by adding a little more brown and a touch of white.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to advertise one of our events we got coming up.
Ooh, okay.
That's going to be Winter is a Drag, Paint, Sip, and Swag.
Yeah.
The 80s style.
That's right.
This is going to be where?
So that is going to be in person in Boundbrook, New Jersey. We are painting this little nostalgic 80s painting. It's going to be kind of an 80s night. We are going to do, we have a DJ that will be doing 80s classics. We are going to dance. We are going to shop. We are going to sip. We're going to have a drag show. The venue that we'll be at is absolutely beautiful. We had our first bubble brunch for the Mimosa marketing group that I belong to.
And you're having another bubble
We
brunch.
are May 1st.
I'll have that up on the screen in a little while.
It was a gorgeous venue. We are so excited to be there again for this one. So if you are local or you are in Jersey, come and hang out with me. So this event, it's a big price tag, of course. It seems that way. $85 a person. It does include a full brunch, a full dinner, not brunch, a full dinner buffet, not a brunch. It does include a beverage. It includes your, what else? Of course, the drag show, your painting.
It says an instructor-led painting.
Yeah, oh, there you go. You got that.
Games and prizes.
Games and prizes.
Vendor market.
Yes.
And live entertainment.
And live entertainment. Well, I'm very excited about it. They're great.
All right, so we got that coming up.
Cool.
April the 8th,
Yes.
6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
So again,
Get your
tickets.
reservations and your tickets right away.
Yeah. So if you want to sit as a group, we were discussing this last night, try and buy all your tickets together, but we will send out an email to everybody asking if you are going with a friend. You'll just email us in and we'll do our best to seat you all together. So I just lightened up that brown, added a little bit of white to that and a little bit more of the original brown. And we're gonna do the face, so this larger section. So again, I'll use the corner of my brush to get up in that little area and then pull down with the flat edge. Got about 12 minutes before you cuckoo again, so get ready.
Oh, really?
Got 9 cuckoos coming up, guys. We're gonna layer these colors only because we have lots of other little details to go on the outside of this, but a little at a time. Again, I'm just sticking with vertical brush strokes, Keep the whole wood grain thing going. Alright, Rascal.
See, he's waking up now.
You gotta get comfy again, huh? You alright? He said.
He says you're painting. That's what the problem is. So you're painting.
Aww. Oh, my boy. Go sleepy. Go sleepy, Rascal. It's okay.
See, he said you're painting. So I gotta patiently lay here until you're finished painting. Because if I get upset, that's not gonna make a difference.
Nope.
So I'll just lay here and look bored and go back to sleep and
Good
say, okay,
boy.
when you're finished painting, then I get you back.
That's right.
Always gotta share you with everybody in the world.
That's
all
right.
the time.
That's right, Rascal.
All right.
Okay, so we have 2 shades of brown on there. I'm going to lighten up again this brown to do the roof. And actually we can mix a little bit more of this because we're going to use some of this for the leaves and detail. So let's make a big batch of brown and you can kind of mish all of this together. So scoop of brown, a little bit of white, and a little bit of yellow here. So scoop of brown, a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow. Let's mix, see what we get. We just want to lighten up the color that we have already.
Kathy says, come to my school, Lafayette Lions.
Ooh. We do offer fundraising events and fundraisers for kids for schools. We definitely have done a lot of those in the past. It's so much fun, especially working with the kids. I do want to make sure that this is lighter than this, so I'm gonna lighten up even more. So let's take a little bit more white and a little more yellow and mix a little bit more in. Oh, I heard it.
What did you hear?
In Aayden's terms, the clicking of the rack. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Clicking of the rack.
All right, so lighter brown, even still. Let's fill this part in, and then we will get to some of those details. And I am following the direction of the shape. Get some paint on there, and then follow the direction of the shape with your brush strokes. I have another little boy that loves clocks just like Aayden does, so one of these paintings will go to him.
Abby says, how do I make brown? I do not like my brown paint.
So brown, what you'll do is you're gonna start with making orange. You know how to make orange, right? Scoop of yellow and a little bit of red. Start with orange and then slowly add in a little tiny bit of blue at a time. So brown is really the 3 primary colors. It's just about the amounts of each color that you use when you mix it to get different shades of brown.
So make the orange first.
So I like to start by making orange first, and then little by little, I add a tiny bit of blue in until it turns it brown.
It's going to make it darker or lighter brown as you put it in.
So, and then you can also add white to it to lighten it up, or more yellow to lighten it up. You'll kind of see, I mean, if it looks green, then you're going to probably add a little bit more red. If it looks, or you can, that's the other thing you could do. Make green, and then start adding a little red at a time. Either way, it's your 3 primary colors together.
Okay.
Okay? And here comes the Cuckoo man here. He's ready to hear his cuckoo go off again.
It's gonna go off?
I don't know.
Yeah, it should.
Pretty soon.
I'm gonna have somebody in help.
How soon?
5 minutes. About.
Oh, okay. I'll get it in the picture, and then
Did you hear the?
Yep. What does that mean?
That means the rock is dropping.
Told you.
Mom learned dropping.
Mom learned something.
I guess so.
All right. So Abby's still working on her brown.
Yep.
We have our 3 shades of brown started here.
Yes. And Elena likes to chat and do emojis.
Elena, you're so cute. I saw your artwork
Did
today.
we get any questions yet for me?
Any other questions for you? I don't think
Oh,
there
then when is the next cuckoo gonna come out of that clock?
And how do you sleep through that?
I'm gonna have him take one of them because I can't get it.
Oh no.
It's I don't think he's gonna turn me a lot. All he has to do is bend the pendulum thing. I can't do it.
You'll have to show me what it is. Maybe you don't have the right tools.
No, I have the right tool, but I can't do it. Like, it won't work. It doesn't want to work for me.
Okay, I'll have to show me.
Won't work out. The rod that the pendulum's hanging on needs to be adjusted.
Okay.
I can usually do that, but that one doesn't want to go.
Got ya.
I actually worked on another one, and then I got it to go perfectly. It keeps good time.
I think I'm gonna go to, even though normally I would go to that medium round, because we're doing a lot of detail, I'm gonna stick with that number 4, that tinier brush. And let's start working on a little bit of our details, okay? So, tiny brush.
Oh, there we go.
I was gonna say, do you want me to wait until you're?
Will they see the little bird pop out?
Yeah, if I know what time it's coming to pop out.
You got about 3 minutes. Maybe you want to throw another ad up there,
Okay.
Huh?
and then
So in about another 3 minutes, it's gonna pop out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So
let me
what?
see.
We're gonna do it.
I'm moving in on the clock now.
All right, go ahead. We'll do the cuckoo first, and
Cuckoo
then
should come out.
we'll do the details.
Oh yeah, that's good. So you can see the little bird pop out and do its thing.
And then we've got an ad I can put up.
Sure.
We've got the Bubble Brunch returning Sunday, May 1st.
So there is no painting in that, just so you know. It is just an absolutely fun event. It was like being at a wedding without a bride and groom. That is the best way I could describe it.
Wow.
We danced. I have not danced that hard in a very long time. And boy, did I feel it the next day, and the day after, and the day after. And still, I think today I finally feel better. I don't think I can walk up and down the stairs for
It's gonna go now.
a couple of days.
yeah. But
It is set to the right time. The only thing I wouldn't say is a problem with it, but all cuckoo clocks, it kind of goes like a couple seconds before the hour, but my great-great-grandparents one does the same thing. It goes like 30 seconds before as well.
Really?
But this one, yeah. I don't
So
care.
you mean the birdie's gonna come out before the birdie's supposed to come out?
Yeah, a little bit before is okay.
But when it's done cuckooing, then it will be at 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, by the time usually by the second cuckoo, it's 9 o'clock,
So
and
it's about to strike.
Yeah.
it's actually 8:59 right now. So it's gonna go. I gotta make sure I keep it accurate because as soon as that clock hits 9, this should go. It's gonna come out though,
Okay.
unless I have him turned off. But I don't think
I'm waiting for countdown.
8.
the 2 birds are moving, and
There
then
you go.
it's slammed. When it has that slap sound when the door is shutting, that's how you know it's a well-oiled and maintained clock.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to take it personal. It seemed like he slammed the door on us.
No, the door.
Yep.
It just.
Oh, it looked like the bird slammed the door. Like.
Yeah. It put and the bird comes out like that every half hour. So on the half hour, it'll only do it once though, and then the hour it does it whatever the number of times the hour it is.
Awesome.
Roman numerals.
Well, that was awesome.
There goes the grandfather clock. I can hear it from downstairs, so because it's a pretty loud clock.
All right, we're gonna get our some of our detailed edges on there. So my clock is not. You're going upstairs?
Yes.
All right, I love you. Thanks, bud.
Okay. I'm just painting.
Oh, okay, you're not gonna go upstairs.
Last night I was just looking at the clock like this. For 5 minutes straight waiting for the bird to come out.
Oh my goodness.
And then it scared me.
All right, shower, PJs,
Upstairs.
relax, yes. Okay, here we go. So my painting is obviously not as detailed as the cuckoo clock that, you know, is beside here, but, and there is like a little detail of, I'm just seeing it now because it's right in front of me, but there's little black details in there of like cross hatches. If you want to add that in there, you can get those details in there, but I'm going to stick to a little bit more basic here. So, tiny brush. We're going to go into that lighter color that I just used that we made. And then I'm going to thicken this wall up here, this top edge up. So we're going to paint along the edge. And then you can add whatever little flare or detail out here. So what I did on mine was just kind of flare out the edges a little bit. So when I get down to the edge, I sort of just flare out the edges. And I'll do the same on the other side. There we go. Uh-oh. Who's texting me now?
Yeah, our Kathy Reinhardt said she was in the kitchen cutting veggies.
Uh-huh.
And Elena told her, well, she's going to go say hi. She got on the computer and started telling us hi, sending the chat words and emojis.
And she did. So I have those edges. I'm going to bring down these edges as well. I'm going to bring these down a little bit farther. I'm going to come down about an inch below the clock with these details. So, and I'm going to kind of bring them out to the edges like this. Ta-da! Like little branches. And I'll do the same on the other side. Now we'll get into the detail and outlines and some other highlights and stuff. I know it looks like it's all kind of running together right now, but we'll fix that. Trust the process. Alright. Again, we'll just kind of flare out those bottom edges.
Our Phoenix said, finished.
Good job.
Probably only having pencils. Probably only having
pencils. Aw. Well, it's okay.
You got it all sketched out though.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes I really do like to sketch it all out before I start painting. I don't know. I just feel like I have sometimes a better outcome than just going right to paint. I need a plan. I'm a planner. Need a plan. And then the last bar is right across, horizontally across the bottom. Same kind of thing here. We're gonna come in the center here, horizontally across, and then out to the side. Just gonna make that one little branch this time.
Just the one?
Just the one.
Oh, Abby says, are we doing a spinner for this one?
Yep, as always, we do our spinner for our virtual tippers or our star givers. So we figured out the whole star system from Facebook, and Facebook is matching your gift of stars to us this month. So we have until Monday, I guess. Anytime you share stars on our Facebook Lives, then they duplicate them. So we
because you were giving stars too today.
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to find.
So so what I do?
Who gave you the stars?
So what I do is go back through all of our chat for the event, and then I'll grab your names off of that and add you to our spinner.
You have to check the comments because somebody gave you stars.
Yep.
I know I saw it.
That's what I do. I went back on the last one too, and went back through all of the comments to find all the names to add them to the Pokemon spinner. All right, so we have part of those details in there. I guess we got to get our little bird going at the top. So our little bird at the top, what I did was I'm going to start almost in the center, almost at the peak, and we're going to start with a little circle. So let's say about an inch circle. So there's an inch circle here.
Oh, Emily Nagel says, are we doing a Spotlight Artist of the Month this month?
Yes, we are. I'm going to pull that on Monday too, or spin that on Monday as well. I was going to do it earlier this week, but I don't remember. There was like a lot of commotion happening, and I think I forgot to remind everybody that we would do it in the fan page. And people started adding their stuff as soon as I posted it, so I didn't want to miss anybody. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to upload their album. So yes, I will pull that or spin that on Monday.
Cool.
Yeah. So we have our little circle. So now this is kind of the body and the wing. So I'm gonna, from the top down and toward the left, I'm gonna kind of swoop that out like this. And I'm gonna bring it back and around. So down and around. So now we have this little wing to our bird. Doesn't look like it yet, but it will. Trust the process.
Okay. Kathy says she bought the kids Pikachu shirts.
Aww.
And they were so excited.
That's cute. And then we'll do the bird's tail. So it's going to be very similar to how I did these little flare outs. So down here, and it's going to be hard to see, but I promise we'll edge this later. So from under this little swoop of the wing, we're going to come down on a little diagonal with our brush. Almost like we're doing a little A or a V down here, upside down V. And that's the tail. And you can add as many little details as you want on these. Whoa. Okay, I got it, I think. Sorry for my being super close. Alright, we don't need that anyway, right?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then we'll do the face or the head. So a little bit of paint. So we have the body, the wing, comes back and around, and then the tail down here. We're gonna do the head. So I'm gonna come from the bottom of the body, or the bottom of the circle on the right side, come up on a curve, like this. We're gonna do a little circle up here. That's where I'm at right now. Give you a second to look at the detail. And make this just a little bit bigger. And then I do have to put that little beak in, so from the bottom right of the tiny circle, I'm gonna come up to a little point, like that. Fill that in. do that back wing back there. So on our little swoop here, I'm gonna come about the center of the body, the center of that first circle that I did. I'm gonna come up and to the left a little bit, a little curve, and then we'll bring it back down for the back wing. And again, we're just gonna fill that in. Well, there's our little bird. It's on the top of our clock. And I think we'll do let's do our leaves next. So we have a couple of leaves that go on the clock. So I did one at the bottom center and one on either side. Now you can make, if you have if you have more space and you want to do more leaves up here, you certainly can. I'm going to start with that bottom center leaf, so this guy down here. So we're going to start with a long, how did I get all that on there? Okay, so center, I'm going to start with a curve right in the middle. So it's a little smile. It's almost like my clock has a little tiny smile.
Okay.
All right, we're going to come down on either side. So now it looks like the top of lips if you were gonna draw lips.
Oh. Abby says, I decided a few minutes ago to make my painting into cabins.
Oh, cool. That's a good idea. It does look like a little cabin.
And Michelle Mann says, I will watch and finish this later.
Cool,
I'm
okay.
having trouble seeing it on my cell phone.
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of little detail in this one. All right. So,
I am zoomed in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a cell phone, though, that's a teeny screen. All right, so we have our like little lip shape. I'm gonna do almost like we're filling this in, and then in the center, let's do that nice big long center leaf. So I want to bring this down like this, so it's kind of that pointed oval here.
Pointed oval shape?
Yep, a long pointed oval. So that'll be our first leaf, our center leaf, and then I'm going to do 2 more on either side. So we just want pointed ovals.
Yeah, Phoenix says, yeah, it's the problem that you have with only having pencils just to sketch.
Yeah.
She said, but my uncle and his girlfriend loved it.
Aww. Good. So I'm just kind of filling in those leaves, that's all.
Our Kathy says that I always watch it on my cell phone.
Do you?
The kids broke the extra iPad, so we just need to send it in to get it fixed.
That would be super tiny. But I mean, I guess if you're like up close with it, that makes sense that you're, that it's like right there. But that's a teeny screen, guys. All right, I'm gonna do some leaves on the sides here. So I like to just kind of lay my brush down for these guys. So pick a point and just kind of lay the brush down, and I can play with the points of the leaves too. Almost like could be a star. Depends on how many leaves you want to put on there. And you can start to point these guys. Some of his clocks are like, I have ivy carved in it. Some of them have flowers carved in them. It's really neat. There's so many unique versions. So my friend Danielle, her grandfather used to repair Cuckoo clocks, and she invited us to their home to pick out a clock with Aayden, which was the sweetest thing ever. I thought our house was crazy with clocks. Every wall on every room in the house, except for the bathroom, I think, had clocks in it. It was so
a prelude to we're going to be living our lives.
God. No. How many years do we have? He's ready to move out, so he's like, no, I can have my own clock house. Okay. Have fun with that. So again, I'm just kind of making some little leaves, almost like florals. Some of them are, I guess, like tobacco leaves, probably from back in the day.
So they were tobacco-y?
Tobacco leaves.
Oh.
Like some of the older clocks that you see are probably like tobacco leaves. I've seen like hunter's clocks where it's, you know, rabbits hanging with guns up top. Yeah, we've seen some interesting ones. All right, I got some leaves on there. So the other thing that's kind of hanging down is the pendulum. I'm probably saying it incorrectly for Aayden, but so I'm gonna try and make this leaf shape again. So it doesn't have to be straight down. I'm gonna kind of do it on a little angle maybe. So again, I'm gonna start with that little kind of lip shape. And fill those in. That's those top two little leaves.
Yeah, see, Katie Krause is. I'm watching you on my TV.
Yeah.
And my cell phone. So YouTube is a little blurry tonight. So Facebook has been helping with the details.
Oh, interesting. See, Facebook is good for some, and YouTube is good for some.
All right, I guess it's whatever system you have.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to, let's add 2 more leaves on either side. 1, 2.
Okay, I finally got it going.
Okay, all right. No problem. I got the details. We're good.
Okay.
I'm going to do the center leaf down here. We're going to come all the way down, make that nice and long. And then we'll add 2 more little leaves on there. 2 and do right in there. So there's at least the bottom part of our pendulum, and we'll add that vertical part in there, or the stick part of the pendulum when we get to it here. There we go. Got that going. I think I will go to what we do next. Let's work on some of the details on the clock itself. So I do want to start to kind of add some of that shadowing in there, and then we'll put in the clock face and the bird. So let's do a little bit of that shadowing. It's up to you if you want to stick with this tiny brush or you want to move over to something like that medium round. Even that 1/2 inch flat is fine too. So I do want to go back to my slightly darker. If you still have it, if you don't, you can always mix again. A little bit of brown, a little bit of black. I don't want pure black. So a little bit of brown, a little bit of black. I want to use the straight edge of the brush and come right down, almost like I'm outlining that edging that we put up there, okay? So I'm just gonna come down. I know my hand's sort of in the way, sorry. And same on this side. And then we wanna sort of pull some of that dark color down, just a little bit for a shadow. Because that little roof overhangs onto the front of this clock. So real lightly, just kind of pulling this down. Pull, pull, pull. And that peak is probably the darkest. We'll come right along the edge of each of our areas that we put in here. Right around the edge of our leaves. And I'm just lightly brushing some of this on there. doesn't have to be really strong or heavy. Sorry. There we go. So start to take that slightly three-dimensional effect. Soon, we're getting there. A little bit inside these little leaf crevices. And come down with this one. So again, that's just a little bit of that shadowing or shading. And if you want to lightly, there's not a lot of paint on my brush. There's barely any paint on my brush. I'm just sort of blending if I can, just brushing a little bit of that darker color. And if you, like I said, if you want to add some of those details with like the striping or the like, it almost looks like a checker pattern. I don't know what the proper term is, but it's like the X's all the way through. Cross hatching really, but. And then let's come right down here under these guys. There we go. While there's not a lot of paint on my brush, I'm gonna brush some of this darker color in my roof. So there's not a lot of paint on this. It's almost like a dry brush, but I'm getting some of that slightly darker color in there for some texture. And then this time for this side, I am going to grab a little bit of black on that brush. I didn't rinse or dry, I just went to grab a little bit of that black, and right under the edge, same thing, I'm gonna come underneath that roof line and then pull down a little bit. So this is a little bit darker. Hi Holly, you're the one that ran away or flew away. Do the same back here. So it's almost like there's a little bit of shadowing from these little areas. All right. Alrighty, we are going to rinse and dry that brush. How's everybody doing? Hopefully okay. We lost Mark for a minute, sorry. I will give you a moment there. So tonight, after I'm all done with everything, after I put some PJs on, I'm gonna come back down and paint SpongeBob for you guys. So we're gonna do SpongeBob for self-care Thursday. It'll kind of be like the pop art style. So I have 4 of the characters on 2 of these canvases. So we'll get that up for you guys soon. I've been so busy between my full-time job and and household stuff and Mimosa marketing and other events that I'm doing that I have not had a chance to paint for just enjoyment lately. Just making you some new self-care stuff. But we'll get back to it. All right, we go back to my tiny brush, back to the little guy. We're gonna go back to our slightly darker color. So I want to start to add some of those little details in our leaves, but I also want to add some of that darker brown color here. So if you don't have that, it's a little bit of black and a little bit of brown. We just want it a little bit darker than what's there. Okay, so slightly darker brown. The great thing about this is it can be any shades of brown. Like you just want lighter, darker, that's all. We're just adding and removing and changing the color a little, that's it. So let's add some of those details in the leaves. So just light brush strokes, I'm kind of adding some little details in the leaves. do some layers. So this one will be first layer of some browns, and then we're gonna go to black, and then we're gonna add some whites. All right, so we got a little bit of detail. So I'm gonna try and stick with maybe one side of the leaves to be a little darker, and then we'll do the other side in the lighter. How's that? And do the same thing on this guy down here. So we'll pick one side of our leaves to be a little bit darker. This is that little tiny brush with that slightly darker brown. Getting some of those details in there. I'll give you a minute. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Aww. Check our comments.
Doing great, no worries.
Okay.
Phoenix says when I get home, I'm gonna get an art table so I have a place to paint.
Ooh, yeah.
I hope we can do a St. Patty's Day one, especially since it is a Thursday.
I know.
St. Patty's falls on a Thursday.
It does. So I think I'm gonna
do
do a St. Patty's gnome. What do you guys think?
Oh, they would love that.
I mean, so recently a friend of mine and her husband moved, and her husband accidentally threw away her entire gnome collection.
Oh.
So little by little, I'm gonna start sending her little gnome things to help her build her collection again. So I figured maybe we'll do a St. Patty's gnome, and I can send her one of those.
Okay.
Everybody loves gnomes, right?
Yeah, they do.
So I think
they're one of our best.
I'm thinking gnome with a big, big St. Patty's hat, maybe holding clovers, 4-leaf clovers or something. I don't know. I think that'll be cute.
Or a pot of gold.
Oh, that's true. Or a pot of gold. Maybe he can be sitting on a pot of gold. Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's better.
All right. So I still have that slightly darker brown. Gonna come under our bird and sort of give him a little bit of shape and outline here. So under the bird, and let's get some little lines going in his wings, and a little detail in that tail. And we'll do a little bit underneath. There we go.
So I got another reminder.
Sure.
So we've got coming up
Oh,
in the
yeah.
month of April. April 20th, 420. Paint and Puff Adults Only Night. That's on a Wednesday night, April 20th, which is the 420 holiday. And we start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
And
Yes, I have that one too. But I didn't get that one up yet. Right now I have
No.
a Paint and Puff.
I was like, this one's sooner, I think, but that's
Don't
matter.
I'm
It
not
don't
going
matter.
by the time
order.
I'm going by what I can easily get up on my screen.
I gotcha. The cuckoo's upstairs too. And then for this little back wing, I'm gonna sort of come over the back so you can see where that back wing is, and then I'm gonna pull some of that darker brown up into that wing a little bit. And a lot of this will help, I'll get some outlining going in there and finish those details when we get there, but for now, we're at the next stage. Let's see, we gotta get to some of those edging, or those, I don't know, branches, these little branch guys. So I'm gonna use that slightly darker color again, just sort of coming down with it.
I'm sorry, Diane L. Leaton says, are they still married?
Who? Yeah, yes, they are. He just felt absolutely horrible about it. He promised that he would help her rebuild the collection and it'll be bigger and better this time. But yeah, I know. She was super upset. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. But it was an accident. It was an accident. So yes, I have 2 things going out to her already. And I thought maybe we'll do the gnome for St. Patty's and I can send her that painting too. We have a couple of gnome paintings around here, so we can send them.
You were talking about the horsey?
Yeah, I think this, because I know I have to update one of these for Ms. Abigail, so I can make it into a Pegasus for her.
Right. So that day is going to be March the 3rd. Thursday night.
It's like
8 p.m. Eastern Time.
next Thursday, is it not? I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Next Thursday. We're doing a horse running through water.
Oh, time flies. We're in March. Jeez.
Yes. What happens?
So again, I'm going to give these guys a little outline, a broken line outline with that darker brown. So if your paint is kind of thick, because I have that slightly thicker paint, I do add just a teeny bit of water to it, a little tiny bit of water. I try and get my brush back to a nice little point and kind of come back to doing a little bit of that outlining here. So a little bit of lines in there, almost like wood grain. And if your brush is into a point, I just rinse and dry. And I twist my brush on my paper towel and it goes back to a nice little point. And I just grab a little dab of paint on my brush. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to start to outline some of these leaves so you can see where those edges are. You could do this in that darker brown or you can even do it in the black, up to you. But we'll get some more detail going. Kind of excited to send this one to my little buddy who also likes clocks. Continue. So here's where you'll decide whether you want the vertical branches in front or the horizontal branch in front. Completely up to you. So I'm gonna put the vertical branches in front. So I'm just gonna come down right over the edge of that one. And since this overlaps this one, I'm gonna brush out to the sides some of that darker color. So it's like a little shadow there. Get some edging in there. One of the things about painting that I realize, some people feel like, I know that I paint quickly. Sometimes it's not about that exact little teeny tiny detail. It is a painting. It's about the flow of the paint with the brush. It does not have to be perfect. You still get that, sometimes when you overthink it gets to be too complicated. So sometimes you just gotta just paint with it. Just roll with it. Just keep going. Don't overthink.
Liz Russell Thomas just joined us. Hi, watching the replay and painting this later.
Awesome.
And Liz, make sure you get to look at Aayden's special intro that shows his little clock museum.
That's right. Yes, the little clock museum. Oh my.
Abby says thank you for this event.
Aww.
I finished my cabins.
Oh, good.
You inspired me. I added smileys to my cabins because the one curve on the clock.
That's right.
Like a smile.
Good job. Make sure you add it to the fan page, Abby, so we can see it. I'll post up this painting up there so that we can add to it. You guys can add to that album when we get done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, just some little brush strokes in there, like wood grain. Get some detail going, guys. It's coming along. come to life. I know Mr. Aayden will be happy. And then he's gonna have to pick which one he wants to keep.
You can only keep one.
Yeah, I want to send the other one to his buddy that really likes clocks too. He's even younger than Aayden.
Okay.
All right, let's go to. I want to paint the clock face, and let's do the clock face first. I'll start with that. So I'm gonna rinse and dry. Dry that tiny brush. I'm gonna use the lightest color, so I'm gonna try and use this color. So light brown. We just want it lighter than this face, just so you can see it. And we're gonna do a circle down here in this area. Okay. So let's do a little circle. And if you have something to trace that you want to trace for a circle, you certainly can. Try not to go over my leaves. If I do, then I'm going to go back and redetail that. That's all. We want the leaf in front of the clock face. Just going to fill this in. Like a circle?
Yes.
You know, from this angle it looks like a circle. But I know what happens when I stand in front of it. I go, what? That is not a circle.
Circle.
I'm gonna rinse and dry. And I'm gonna do the little black area up top for the cuckoo bird. So to do that, I am gonna just go to black, okay? We'll let that dry completely and then we'll put in the little bird. So I'm gonna come up here in this area. So this top area, we wanna put our cuckoo bird. So I'm gonna start with a little horizontal line, maybe about 1 inch wide. And then we're gonna do just a tall curve here. So it's like a little door. Rounded little door, a rounded area. And you can go ahead and fill this in. A big cuckoo in this bird. I mean, a big bird in this cuckoo. Oh boy. We'll get to that little birdie later. All right. So we have our little cuckoo area filled in here. Now the door for this little area is going to be gray. I would like it to be a lighter color. We don't want it to be black, so it does have to be a little bit lighter than the black. So make it dark gray maybe. So I'm gonna do from the left side a slightly smaller and on a diagonal door. So I'm gonna come from the bottom left and come down maybe about half the size of this. So if this was about 1 inch, this is about 1/2 inch. Make that a little bit lighter so you can see that better. There we go. All right, so let's do a vertical on the left side. So vertical. Little curve at the top. It is going to connect on the side. So that is the door that's going to open for our cuckoo. There we go. And we'll get into small areas here.
That's the door that the bird's going to slam when it closes. door.
That was funny. It did sound
Like you slammed the door.
It did. That's funny. I didn't realize how big that bird was until Aayden asked me to paint that one. That bird is like, I don't know, like almost 3 inches long.
Wow.
The tail. So I guess there's whatever mechanism comes in that tips the back of the bird so that it goes up and down. So yeah, it's like really long. It's funny. I was like, that's the bird that's in the clock. Here, I thought it was just a little teeny thing sitting out in the front. All right, let's do our clock face. So I'm gonna rinse and dry. We can get some little details on our clock face. So let's do a little bit of black. Let's start with our little center point. And I'm just gonna add a couple of Roman numerals. You're more than welcome to do them all. I'm just gonna do my my standards here, my 6, a V and an I. Our 12 is the X and 2 I's. And then our 3 little I's, 1, 2, 3. And our 9 is the 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. Is that right? No, it's not. I'm wrong. No, it's actually I and then X. Silly me. Silly me. It's right there in front of me too. Okay, I lied. It's an I and then an X. Right, so taking 1 away from 10. There we go. And then your little, your hands. So let's do start with a little up at the 12, and you can do whatever little designs you want for hands, and just a little squiggle on there. And again, I'm just going to do a little design on our hands, little squiggle lines on there. They're very fancy. I'm gonna continue going through with some of the black on the clock. So, tiny brush. I'm just gonna do some of those little outlines on our edging and stuff. So, let's do just a little bit of them. It does not have to be the entire thing. So, little areas, just those kind of broken lines of black. It does not have to be the entire piece. Oh, I see what I missed over here. I forgot the little shadowing on either side. You can do this with your brown or with your black. Get some of those details on these leaves. Black at a time. Once your brush starts to kind of get a little fuzzy edge, I just rinse and dry, twist on the paper towel and pull it toward me to get back to a little point, and then I just go to a tiny bit of black at a time. I hear you guys. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this little guy down here. Don't overthink. Doesn't have to be right on the edge. I'm just kind of making the motions. And we'll get some of that little detail on our bird up here. So I'm going to come up and give him a little bit of an outline. I do want to kind of show that little tail though, because that sort of gets lost in there. So give him a little squiggle down there on that tail, like there's feathers. got it, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little bit of that detail with the black while I got it up here. All right, we're getting there, guys. So one of the things to keep in mind, which I see I'm missing some. So anytime there's something that overlaps another item, that's where you want to get your shadows, okay? So this leaf is overlapping this branch, right? So we want to take that darker color and come right where we overlap, or around the edge of where we overlap. And that helps with that shadowing and three-dimensional look.
Our Phoenix says that her
Right.
grandparents had the last clock that was in the intro.
Oh, really? See? Yeah.
And that her grandparents had a grandfather clock as well.
It's like a big thing. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Clocks were like a really big, you know, they're not cheap by any means. So I could only imagine I don't know how my great grandparents came to have it, but I mean, looking at them now, they're several $100s. Them spending that kind of money way back then, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure it was less, but still, it's not a cheap item to have. And I mean, I'm sure it was like either a wedding gift or an anniversary gift. That's kind of like the typical, gift for maybe an anniversary. But yeah, I don't know, just it's interesting. Again, under my bird here, I want to add some of that slightly darker color, just for some shadowing. Still with my brown. So let's go to, let's see, I'm gonna do our pendulum, the stick part of the pendulum, the straight part of the pendulum, and our our weights, or the pine cones, as I would call them. So again, it's that I'm just using, making another brown here. A little bit of brown, a little bit of black, it's a touch of yellow. Start with this slightly darker brown for those little weights. But let's do that pendulum, that stick part. I don't know what the appropriate term is, guys. All right, so we're just gonna, I wanted it to come down on an angle, on a slight angle here, so. Just wanted to come all the way up and hide underneath those leaves there. And then our two pine cones, you can kind of stagger them wherever you want. So I want to keep them kind of straight under the middle section of the clock. Like, I don't want to put it back here. I want it to be like within this area. So within this width. So my first one, I'll put over here. Start with a little curve around the top. And then I'm going to come down maybe about 4 inches with it. We want a slightly pointed bottom. Like that clock ticking is like, I'm on the clock here. Tick, tick, let's go. Stressing me out. All right, next one, we're gonna come down here. Let's use some of the space on the canvas. Same thing, we wanna round the top and bring it down to a point. They are supposed to be the same size. So let's get you guys down. And we'll just go in. Look at that rascal. Good. He needs to be right now because, oh my gosh. I'm telling you, after I fed, like even 5:30 this morning he was up. I don't know what was up with him the last couple of days. Up early. It's like he's hungry. You just. Okay. And now to get some texture in those pine cones, I'm gonna grab a little bit of black on this brush. Same brush, I'm not rinsing or drying. Just gonna grab some black. I'm gonna come right along the right side of each one. Start with that. So right along the right side of each one. And then I'm gonna kind of tap my brush. So I'm just tapping that brush to create the texture, the illusion of all those little divots in the pine cone. Do the same thing up here. Just tapping some of that black in with that brush. Just to create some texture. And try and keep it toward the right side. So we're going to lighten up the other side. I've got that black on that brush and just kind of underneath the vertical part of my pendulum, a little bit of that black, and then right at the base where it meets the leaf. And we can even do it right up here underneath this leaf too. Getting there. I knew this one would be a little bit longer for all the details. Uh-oh. Again, the rack dropped.
We have our Mimosas and Masterpieces fan club page.
Yeah.
This is where we want you to take your pictures of your paintings and send them in right here to this page. In fact, when we do pick our artist of the month, that's where this person will be featured.
Yes. We'll take, so when you post your albums, when you create your albums in the fan page, I will take people's photo albums and kind of put your name. So if you say Reinhardt Family Paintings, I'm going to put your whole family up there. Reinhardt Family is our spotlight artist family then. You know? Okay. So I'll put everybody, because I know I've seen like a lot of family albums, which I love. So I think that's even better.
Sounds good.
So yes, be sure to add your photo albums to that page. I'm going to go right now and add a picture of this so that we can create an album in there.
You're doing it right now?
Yep, doing it right now.
With your phone?
With my phone, yeah.
Wow.
So, fan club, we're going to go to albums. So if that's something too, if you guys don't know how to do that, so I don't know how close you are. Yes, I'm only at 11%. I am one of those people. So when you go to the Mimosas and Masterpieces fan club, you're going to go to albums.
Hold on, so this just looks like a bunch of light.
Oh, sorry. No?
See if I can get closer. No, I guess that's as close as I can get.
Maybe it's too bright and I can lighten it.
Yeah, it's too bright. That's better.
Okay. So when you're on the Mimosas and Masterpieces fan club, you're going to go to albums. So you can see everybody's photo albums, and then for every event, I post an album. So this one's going to be Cuckoo Clock. Cuckoo Clock. Night. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to add my photo. So you can do the same thing. Oh, I thought I got a better one. No, that's good. Okay. So there's Mr. Aayden with his, doing his little thing. So I'm going to hit upload. And then when you want to add your clock painting, you'll just go to this album and click add photos, and you'll add it right to this album. Okay. So that's how that works. But that's also how you would add your own family album too. Create an album and create your family's photo album there. That's it. All right, we're getting there, guys. All right, let's get the white going. Let's get some highlights happening. So TD brush, little guy. Let's put in the white for our bird so that we can paint yellow over him. So similar to how I did this guy, I'm gonna actually this time start with a little half circle inside of our black little door.
Look at our Kathy says, I should post some of the kids' artworks on my fan page.
You should, because I got to see their artwork today, and I'm thoroughly impressed by their art at their age. That's pretty awesome. I can't get Aayden to do any of that. I am very proud of him so when he has to do his own writing prompts, he is writing about clocks. That's pretty much all of his writing prompts so far this year. All right, let's see. So we have that little half circle, and then I'm gonna come up here with a small circle, and then bring it down. And then we just need a little beacon. Go. Make that little tail a little bigger if you want. So we're gonna let that dry, and then we can paint the yellow over it, or whatever color you want your bird to be. It could be white, or it could be a cardinal. You can make it red. So I'm going to continue with a little bit of white. Let's get some of those highlights and details going. So around the top of my clock here, I'm going to come around with a little bit of white from about the center of my clock down around the left side. So I'm going to try to use the left side as all my light source. So left side light, so that means all of the left side of the items are going to be brighter. So highlights are going to come on the left side. So on our wings, we're going to come this way. Do a little around the top, so it's usually left and top of things. We'll come down on some of our little branches here. We'll add a little bit of highlighting to our leaves. And again, it does not have to be perfect. Just adding that contrast of light and dark is what makes it pop, and it makes your eye go to it. So it's not a flat color. It helps with dimension. Get some of these guys going here. That little left side again. There goes that cuckoo. That means this guy's any minute now. He's coming. Oh my goodness. Right, got some little leaf detail in there. Goes.
I got him.
You did?
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. I love sometimes just going places with Aayden and his knowledge of the most unique things. When I took him to go get this clock, it was one of the best experiences. It was a miserable experience getting there because it was so foggy. I'll never forget that day. I didn't even want to go, but he had begged me for so long, and I'd just gotten over COVID. We got into that clock store, and somebody was asking, well, I don't understand what the difference. Why is the 8-day clock like several $100s more than the 1 day? What's the difference? And the guys were so busy in there, Aayden just started rattling off the details. The guys are like, you want a job here? You know, and, like, it seems that almost anything that he has and takes an interest in, he has no problem sharing his knowledge with anybody of anything like that, no matter where we go. It's so funny. So it's kind of fun and unique. All right, we're gonna come right across the top edge with some of that white. And right along the edge of that little branch. You can even, if you want to, add some of those little white lines. Follow the shape though. So we don't want to do vertical or horizontal. You want to do it on that angle.
Yeah, so our Kathy says, yeah, both of them love drawing and painting.
That's really great.
And I try to encourage anything that they show interest in. Even if that means I have to learn how to do something new.
That's the key.
Like drawing. She says, I was horrible at drawing, but the kids want to draw, so we all draw together.
That is the key. And so many people have asked me, like, how does Aayden become what he becomes? And, you know, at first, with the vacuums, I was like, that's it, that's enough. I don't want any more. But, you know, we've learned to just embrace his love and his passions, and that really, it just helps him grow. I mean, if he's interested in learning about it and that's the only thing he's going to read about, so be it.
That's right.
It is what it is.
He does it very well.
I'm going to do some vertical lines, real light brush strokes to kind of help with, make it look like a little bit of wood grain in there.
And something incites your child to make them do something very well. And I suggest you let them have fun and do
it's I don't know, it's just something about, I don't know, there's just nothing better than seeing their happiness and you being able to encourage their happiness. I mean, we've done some crazy trips. We took them to that vacuum manufacturing place in New Jersey that one time. You know, stuff like that is just, I don't know, they're invaluable moments, they're experiences. And, you know, whether he likes vacuums or not anymore, which he still does, it's just a memory that we'll always have together. In fact, when we were so excited to surprise him, and that's when we learned we don't surprise Aayden. There's no surprising Aayden. You have to prepare him. Because we got to that vacuum place, and all he wanted to do was think about his new obsession, which was the paper shredders, remember?
Yeah.
He was like, I just want to shred paper. We're like, you're at a vacuum manufacturer, guy. Man, forget about the shredder. That's all he wanted to do was shred paper at that moment. He was just a little overwhelmed with he got everywhere. All right,
He wasn't prepared for it.
He was not, and that's what I've learned now. Surprising him is not always a good thing. He's better off prepared. He does not. I mean, he likes getting surprises, but big things like that, yeah, we need to prepare for it. All right, so still working with my white. I'm going to come down and let's do a little bit of white in our pine cones. So same thing. I'm just kind of doing little tiny brush strokes. So they're almost like little curves.
Our Phoenix is leaving us.
All right, Phoenix.
Says good
Bye,
night,
Laura.
Jennifer.
Always nice having you with us, hon. Have a good
and
night.
Rascal.
And we're at school. Yeah. So again, on the left side, I'm starting just doing little brush strokes, like little curves, almost like I'm giving it a little check mark. That's the brush stroke, or the feeling that I'm doing, like I'm doing little checks. And I just use a little bit of paint at a time, all the way down the pine cone. All right. Let's get to some of that yellow. I'm gonna do a little bit of white with a bit of yellow. And I think I'm even gonna grab a tiny touch of red. Tiny, tiny touch of red. So here I go again. It's gonna be a scoop of yellow, a little bit of white, and a tiny touch of red. Tiny, tiny touch of red. So it's almost gonna be like a golden color. Okay, we are gonna we want to mix enough of this to do our chains. That's what I'm going for here. So let me mix enough. So yellow, a little bit of red, see where we're at. I know I've had the question before about like keeping your paint, because I know a lot of times I overdo it on what I pour for my paint. So I do use styrofoam for that reason, that I can flip another plate on top of it and just kind of even sit a cup or something a little heavier on it to seal it enough. And I can come back to this days later and it still works. A lot of people, some people use a wet palette that's very similar. You can spray it with a little bit of water and that works too, but you know, you don't have to discard everything and toss it. You can use it again. All right, so I have that. If this is pretty loaded with paint, so let's rinse and dry. Get that back to a point so you can get into those little details. So rinse and dry just to get it back to a nice little point. I'll grab some of that gold color and I'm just gonna go over my bird, my little bird that was inside of our cuckoo. You can paint him whatever color you want. It does not have to be my little golden color. Go. And since this golden color is kind of, you know, it does work with our wood color, you can also add some of these little gold brush strokes, whether it's in your, you know, on your clock face. Add some of those little brush strokes in there to add like a wood grain for us. Real light, light. Let's come up in the roof and get some of that up in the roof. I like the contrasting colors. And then the chain. So this is the tricky part. So you are more than welcome to take a pencil, take a ruler. If you want to do a nice, you know, straight line, you can. I'm just going to kind of wing it. So I'm going to start with, instead of just doing a line, I'm going to do a dotted line, okay? So I'm going to pretend that it starts up here and then just kind of start doing a dotted line down to my pine cone. Let's do this guy. I'm going to start up here. So I'm just doing a dotted line. There we go. I know it's hard to see on here. And same. We need to do the other half of the chains. So some of those, so this pine cone, that means this chain's gonna be a little higher. And on this pine cone, this chain's gonna be a little longer. So I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of give it a little dotted line to start. You can end it with a little circle. And then this one, the chain down, is gonna come down here a little more, so.
Try and move in as close as possible.
It's also tough to see because it's a lighter color. So that's probably, go. And while I have this color, I'm gonna do the same. Let's add a couple of little brush strokes of yellow throughout our pine cones. That helps with that texture, look. And this is on both the white side and the black side, so you get that contrast of the lighter and the darker color on the pine cone. There you go. You can do a little half circle on the top of each of those pine cones for a little hook. And I kind of got to make that color a little bit darker just so we can see it. So I'm going to add a touch of brown to this just to make it darker so we can see it. And then the chain, so how the chain goes, I'm going to do it, let me do it on a piece of paper in a larger scale so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is the chain is going to go like this. So it's like a C and then a backwards C that they're almost coming together, but they don't necessarily touch.
Interlocking.
Right. So this is how the chain's going to work on a small scale. So teeny tiny brush strokes like that. Okay. So I'm going to move that. Now, if your paint is thick, again, you can always grab a little touch of water, and then you're going to want to make sure that this brush is clean and dry for that nice fine point. So rinse and dry, spin that on that paper towel, go back to your color. So I'm going to start up here. So some of them are not going to be able to see the both sides, but so it's a C and a backward C. C and backward C. Again, remember, it's just kind of the illusion. It does not have to be perfect. If anybody is scrutinizing your stuff that close up, then they need to paint it themselves. Every once in a while, I'm going to rinse and dry, get it back to a point. Also a good way to do rope too when you're doing ropes for like maybe swings or you're painting that kind of stuff. This is the same kind of brush technique that I use. A C and a backward C. And kind of hold hands all the way down. Delayed opening tomorrow for school.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't even know if I told him that yet. Surprise! He'll be happy about that surprise. Alright. So, the trick to making it look like it's shiny is also adding that black or that darker color and then the white every once in a while. So, tiny brush, rinse and dried every once in a while. You're just going to want to add a little bit of black in there. Maybe every 2 or 3 little chains. It does not have to be all of them. And then right around my circle, I'm going to go on the inside left part and on the outside right part, and that sort of outlines that little circular part. You want to come back up here, same thing. Every once in a while, do the same thing. I'm just going right over. If it happens to fall on the inside, cool. If it happens to fall on the outside, that's fine too. Guys, I think I only need white. Is there white left? And I think we're good. So we're going to rinse and dry. Let's go to our white. And then same thing. You may not be able to see it all, but we're just going to, and then every other or every couple, we'll do a little bit of white. Top left of those little, like the little circles for the bottom. Top left of the hooks as well. We'll do that highlight. And then inside inside of the Cuckoo door. So on the top of the Cuckoo door, I'm going to do a little highlight of white here. And then on the inside of the Cuckoo door, I'm going to come to the top right. And then I'm going to give it almost like it so that it has a width and it's not, you can see like the thickness of the wood. So I'm going to jump around like this and leave about maybe 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, about 1/8 of an inch. And then down here in this corner, I'm just gonna add a little highlight down here in that corner. We're almost there, guys. Do a little bit of a highlight on these hands. And then just gonna grab black because I missed one little section here. So on the bottom right of the clock, I also have a little black area there for a shadowing there. And then the last part is to sign and date that painting, and we're done, guys.
Almost done.
Yeah. And then we do like to sign and date. We like to see those paintings, so we do encourage you to add them to that fan page. Like Abby asked, we will go live on Monday for a swag spinner for any of our virtual tippers. I told Aayden any of them that come in that we would split them with him.
Okay.
You know, because he did some of the work too today. So he's looking forward to, he wants to buy a new pendulum for another clock. Gosh knows. But signing, dating, which we already know that Mom's going to end up buying whatever it is he needs anyway.
I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us tonight.
That's right. Thank you guys all so much. I hope you
Aayden really
enjoyed.
loved it.
I enjoyed this too.
And just for fun, I will be showing the intro that I started this whole program off with. So you
Aww.
can see Aayden's Clock Museum.
Alright. Cool.
Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Make sure you have a wonderful weekend.
Yes,
Katie
please.
Krause just sent you 200 stars.
Aw, thanks,
Thank you,
Katie.
So
Aw.
everybody, I'm going to go show you Aayden's video.
Yes. Oh, I get to see that.
Yeah, you can watch it now. And watch.
That's our great-grandparents' clock. That's his purchase, his first purchase in the new house. He was so excited for that. Aww. That painting should look familiar.
And what you hear in the background is his actual clocks in his room.
Oh, yeah. Aw. A lot of these clocks were gifts to him.
And what they hear in the background is all of those clocks going off.
Oy. Oh, incense, that's the other thing he's obsessed with.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. You make everybody dizzy. Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
That's what happens when you go in his room. You get dizzy.
Yeah, well.
You see clocks everywhere.
Yes, you do. That's right. And all of his dead cute. Good job, baby. Aw, thanks, guys. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next Thursday.
Yes, thank you, everybody.